You could take a seat, Mr. Worthing.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell. I prefer standing.
I feel bound to tell you that you have not on my list of eligible young men, although I have the same list as the dear Duchess of Bolton. We work together, in fact. However, I am quite ready to enter your name, should your answers be what a really affectionate mother requires. Do you smoke?
Well, yes, I must admit I smoke.
I'm glad to hear it. A man should always have an occupation of some kind. There are far too many idle men in London, as it is. How old are you?
29.
A very good age to be married at. I've always been of the opinion that a man who desires to get married should either know everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
I'm pleased to hear it. I approve of anything that tampers with the natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate, exotic fruit. Touch it, and the bloom is gone. The whole theory of modern education is radically unsound. Fortunately, in London, at any rate, education produces no effect whatsoever. If it did, it would prove a serious danger to the upper class and probably lead to acts of violence in Grosvenor Square. What is your income?
Between 7,000 and 8,000 a year.
In land or investments?
In investments, chiefly.
This is satisfactory. What between the duties expected of one during one's lifetime and the duties exacted from one after one's death? Land has ceased to be either profit or pleasure. It gives one position and prevents one from keeping it up. That is all that can be said about land.
I have a country house with some land, of course, attached to it. About 1,500 acres, I believe, but I don't depend on that for my real income. In fact, as far as I can make out, the poachers are the only people who make anything out of it.
A country house? How many bedrooms? Well, point can be cleared up afterwards. You have a townhouse, I hope. A girl with a simple, unspoiled nature like Gwendolyn could hardly be expected to reside in the country.
Well, I own a house in Belgrave Square, but it is let by the year to Lady Bloxham. Of course, I can get it back whenever I like, at 6 months' notice.
Lady Bloxham? I don't know her.
Oh, she goes about very little. She's a little considerably advanced in years.
Nowadays there's no guarantee of respectability of character. What number in Belgrave Square?
149.
The unfashionable side, I thought there was something. However, that could be easily altered.
Do you mean the fashion or the sort?
Both, if necessary, I presume. What are your politics?
Well, I'm afraid I really have none. I'm a liberal unionist.
Oh, they count as Tories. They dine with us. I'll come in the evening at any rate. Now to minor matters. Are your parents living?
I've lost both of my parents.
Both? To lose one parent may be regarded as misfortune. To lose both looks like carelessness. Who was your father? He was evidently a man with wealth. He was born at the radical papers called the Purple of Commerce. Or did he rise from the ranks of aristocracy?
I'm afraid I really don't know. The fact is, Lady Bracknell, I said I had lost my parents. It would be near the truth to say that my parents seem to have lost me. I don't actually know who I am by birth. I was found.
Found?
The late Mr. Thomas Cardew, an old gentleman of a very charitable and kindly disposition, found me, and gave me the name Worthing, because he happened to have a first-class ticket for Worthing in his pocket at the time. Worthing is a place of success. It is a seaside resort.
Where did the charitable gentleman who had first class for the seaside resort find you?
And a handbag.
A handbag?
Yes, Lady Bracknell. I was in a handbag. A somewhat large black leather handbag with handles to it. An ordinary handbag, in fact.
In what locality did this Mr. James or Thomas Cardew come across this ordinary handbag?
In the cloakroom at Victoria Station. It was given to him in mistake for his own.
The cloakroom in Victoria Station?
Yes, the Brighton line.
This line is immaterial, Mr. Worthing. I confess I feel somewhat bewildered by what you've just told me. To be born or at any rate bred in a handbag, whether it has handles or not, seems to me to display a contempt for the ordinary decencies of family life that reminds me of one of the worst excesses of the French Revolution. And I presume you know what unfortunate movement led to. As for the particular locality in which the handbag was found, a cloakroom at the railway station might serve to conceal social indiscretion. Has probably indeed been used for the purpose before now. It could be hardly regarded and assured to the basis for the recognized position in good society.
May I ask you then what you would advise me to do? I need hardly say I would do anything in the world to ensure Gwendolyn's happiness.
I would strongly advise you, Mr. Worthing, to try and acquire some relations as soon as possible, and make a definite effort to produce at any rate, one parent of either sex before the season is quite over.
Well, I don't see how I could possibly manage to do that. I could produce the handbag at any moment. It is in my dressing room at home. I really think that should satisfy you, Lady Bracknell.
Me, sir? What does that have to do with me? You can hardly imagine that I and Lord Bracknell would dream of allowing our only daughter, a girl brought up with the utmost care, to marry into a cloakroom and form an alliance with a parcel. Good morning.